to the NFL. And Rob, the Miami Dolphins, obviously one of the biggest stories of the year. And we people knew they would be good, but the way they're doing it, they lead the league in scoring, averaging 37 a game, and obviously they put 70.
They'll always be known for that, Chris.
They're going to be remembered? Yeah, right.
That is one of those.
They're going to be remembered for that.
Right. That is one of those moments, and they'll remember when
it's like Kobe's 81 or something like that.
When you talk about Tua's career, he put up 70.
Well, you brought up Tua, and Tua is the front runner for the MVP right now. With the odds, he's got a little lead over Patrick Mahomes, and the dude is leading the league in everything. TDs, he's tied with Kirk Cousins at 14, but his team, unlike Cousins, is winning. He leads the league in yards per game, over 312 a game. Yards per attempt, almost at 10, which is ludicrous. And he leads the league in passer rating at 114.1. Oh, and by the way, he's completing 71% of his passes.
Which is just
it's crazy. I mean, look, they throw a lot of much shorter passes today, and
still got to make them.
Check downs and stuff. But still, 71%. He's one of only two guys over 70%. The other, Josh Allen, believe it or not. So, yeah, he should get credit big time for that. I guess, yeah. But his coach, Mike McDaniel, who's done a great job with the Dolphins, particularly offensively. He was asked, was that today, Rob G, or yesterday? Yesterday, if Tua is a system quarterback. Here's what he said.
There are some folks who believe that many quarterbacks in this scheme, with you as the coach, with Tyreek and Jalen, maybe even many quarterbacks, would excel, would flourish, would be near the top of the passer rater leading MVP candidate. What, if any, pushback is there relative to, wait, no, hold on. Tua is a little different.
Let's push this podium over. My answer to that would be who the F cares, because it is a team. We're working together, and I know one thing. I've coached stuff a long time. I haven't seen people do what our guys do.
Chris, I love that. I'm going to push this podium over. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's like, are you kidding? And the other thing, too, I don't know who that was asking the question. Can you stop beating around the bush and just get to the question? It's Tua a system quarterback. You use like 50 words, Chris, to get to that, right? He didn't want to come out and say it straight up. That's what he could have asked. Right. Is he a system quarterback? And if you put any quarterback in your system, can they do what he's done? Period. Blah, 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 blah. And that. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Tua? Do you think he's getting enough credit?
I think he should just get credit. I mean, everybody's got to play. That's what coaches do, Chris. They develop a system and an offense. That's why we talk about how important coaching is in the NFL more so than any other sport, because it's an identity. What is it that we do? But they can draw up plays, Chris. Everybody can't make them. It's not that easy. I wish it was. I get it. There's a formula. There's something you want done. You got to have the right touch. You got to, be able to do some of these things, make the right throws, make the right reads in those situations. So all I'm saying is you got to give the quarterback some credit, and you can't say that anybody could be doing that, because ain't nobody scoring those 70 points in a long time. I don't care what system they've been in.
I think that Tua is getting enough credit. I know there are doubters. Heck, that writer spelled it out. Some people think you could throw any good quarterback in that situation, and they would be doing what Tua's doing. But for all those that feel that way, Rob, guess who's the leading MVP candidate? Tua. And I don't know how much more credit you can get than the leading MVP
they're not
candidate,
discounting
right?
him. Right, they're not discounting him at all.
And so now I will say this to Mike McDaniel, and we joke about him because he's He said he doesn't know is he black, is he white? I don't know what.
He's a human being, Chris. That's what he told us. Thanks for telling us. He's a human being. Thank you. Dude, I mean,
but
what a cop out. I would have said if I was at the press conference, what a cop out. We're all human beings. That's not what we're asking you.
Whatever you think of him in that regard, though, the dude is a heck of an offensive coach. I mean, incredible. Rob, their running back, Achan, that just went out. Dude was averaging 12 yards a carry. And I'm not giving all that credit to McDaniel, but I'm just saying he and Raheem Mostert, who's still healthy, I mean, their run game is nearly as prolific as their passing game. And so he's got a great offensive designer and play caller in Mike McDaniel, the head coach. He's got not one. He don't have a great number one receiver. He's got two number one receivers because Jalen Waddle is the truth, right? And he's the second guy.
Right.
Tyreek Hill is out of this world. I mean, Tyreek, I said it, Rob, and I'm standing by it. And they're obviously very different styles of play, very different sizes. But he reminds me of Randy Moss. It's like a cheat code. Moss, because of his speed and his height,
that's high
was
praise.
Just right. It was just like, well, I can't do nothing with this guy. And Tyreek, because of his speed, you can't do anything with him. Rob, he is on pace. Now we'll see if he keeps it up. But he is on pace to obliterate the single season receiving yardage record. Nobody's ever gone 2,000. He's on pace to go 2,300. Now, there's an extra game, but even take that game out, he still would be at 2,150 or something like that. He's averaging 135 receiving yards a game, which is more than anyone has in the history of the league. He leads the league in yards after catch. Like, the dude is ridiculous. I think he's their best player. I mean, I don't know that he get the MVP. He's obviously not even in the top 5 or maybe even top 8 or 9 in terms of the odds. I think right now Tua would be the MVP and Tyreek would be Offensive Player of the Year. But you've got those two. You've got the run game. You've got McDaniel. So he has a ton. And let me read you these numbers, Rob. And again, I'm not trying to take anything from Tua, but I'm just saying because he's still being viewed as the MVP, he's getting his credit, but we do have to keep everything real and let you know what is totally going on. His career, Rob, before Tyreek Hill got there last season, Tua threw for 194 yards a game. Since then, 285 a game. He averaged 6.5 yards per pass attempt. Since Tyreek got there, 9.1. He threw 27 touchdowns with 15 picks before Tyreek, 39 touchdowns, 13 picks since Tyreek. Passer rating of 88.8 before Tyreek, 108.3 since Tyreek. So, I mean, Tyreek,
can I say this
crazy.
Too? And Chris, those are all fair. All of that is fair. But sometimes guys get talented players and they can't utilize them correctly. That's what a good quarterback, you know what I mean? Like he's taking advantage of what's been given to him. And that's what you're supposed to do when they put weapons around you. It would be the thing if you got those weapons, Chris, and you're still doing what you were doing. Nah, that's on you. You got weapons.
No, he's capitalizing. And we've said that before. What did DeAndre Hopkins do for Kyler Murray? What did Stephon Diggs do for Josh Allen? We still been waiting to see Lamar get that guy, right? So I'm with you on that. I'm not trying to take anything away from Tua. What I will say is this, and I would vote for him MVP right now. Although I'll be thinking about Tyreek. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not sure if, and it may never matter. Heck, you stay in this system with these guys for long enough, it ain't gonna matter. But like a Patrick Mahomes, Mahomes is historic, you know, or Josh Allen, though. Like certain guys, I just feel like from what I see with my eyes, would be great anywhere. I'm not certain of that with Tua. I'm not. I think he's great here, and he might win an MVP, but I'm not certain you put him anywhere and he would be awesome. I think Joe Burrow, you could throw him in there as well.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that he couldn't play well. I mean, obviously his pedigree where he played college football, what he was able to do there. Of course, he had a great coach there. So I'm going to say I'd have to see him go somewhere else and not play well.
I'm not saying that either.
I'm just,
that he
know.
can't.
I'm just saying.
I
would have to see that
certain,
right, for me to feel anything other from him.
And some of it might be, some of my feeling might be because he's been so injured, and his career, Rob, has been really disjointed because he's been hurt so much, right? And even early in his career, they were throwing in, Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know what I mean? Like,
and you remember we were like, it was ridiculous, right?
Right. So that might be some of it. But look, bottom line is he's having a phenomenal year this year and on pace right now to win an MVP. But they got a tough game this week. I can't wait to see him against Philly. Rob, did you know this about Miami? The combined records of the teams they've beaten is 5-18.
Wow.
4 of their victims, they've won 5, but 4 of them have 1 win or fewer, which Carolina's winless.
And how many of their wins?
And the one team they played that was good blew them to bits, right. Buffalo.
But they don't have like 4 road wins too. Like a lot of their games have been on the road so far this year.
2 of their wins on the road, Rob. They beat the Chargers and the Patriots.
First 2, right? Was it the first 2 of the season?
But then the other wins have been at home, and then they were blown out by the Bills in Buffalo.